in time for the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series, and the stage is set for race 19 of the year, a night edition under the lights out in Las Vegas. Who do the odds favor to move on to round two? We are going to find out. Hey everyone, and welcome into our Race Day studio. I'm Kaitlyn Vincie alongside championship-winning driver and crew chief Jeff Hammond, Todd Bodine. And as I said, guys, elimination race. Why is Las Vegas a great place for this race, though, Todd?
I tell you what, Kaitlyn, this racetrack has always been a good place to race. It's always lent itself to great racing. The last 4 or 5 races we've seen here in the trucks, 3 wide, 4 wide, drafting, bumping and banging. You never know who's going to come out on top, and that's why I love this as being one of our playoff races.
And some overtime on top of that.
Oh, absolutely. That's right.
So, yeah, but tonight it's going to be just a little bit different because of the fact that being a cutoff race, stage points, from the drop of the green flag, you're going to see people trying to race up front, stay up front, score those stage points. There's only a couple drivers, I'm talking about Moffitt and Chastain, that are anywhere at all comfortable when they drop the green flag.
Yeah, we know there's going to be a lot of movement in terms of that playoff picture. So with tonight being a cutoff race, let's take a look at the current standings. Brett Moffitt, with wins in the first 2 races, is locked in. Ross Chastain with a large point advantage, and everyone else, they are in danger. The next 5 drivers within just 6 points of each other, and Tyler Ankrum, he is needing some help if he wants to move on. So, Jeff, when you take a look at that playoff picture, what do you kind of make of it? What stands out to you?
I think the biggest thing is that rookie, Tyler Ankrum, he's in a lot of trouble, let's face it, because with the battle that's going on, basically inside that top 5 that everybody's fighting over, they're not going to let him get a toehold to get back in this thing. So I think it's going to be an uphill battle for that team all night long.
I tell you what stands out for me is the fact that we have 5 drivers within 6 points. I mean, come on, how much better racing can we get?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, when you're in that situation and you're trying to get in the playoffs, pressure's on. Don't make mistakes. Not just the driver either, the crew chief, the pit crew. You cannot make a mistake and recover, because if it could cost you 1 point. 1 point could keep you out of the playoffs. So don't make mistakes.
Yeah, mistake-free will be key. Now, a driver who's in a pretty good position right now in terms of the playoffs is Ross Chastain. He doesn't need to do much to advance tonight, but for him, it's not just about advancing. It's challenging Brett Moffitt for the top spot.
Brett Moffitt has won at Bristol in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series playoff opener. For the 2nd straight race, Brett Moffitt wins at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
The whole 2014, definitely, they stand head and shoulders above the field right now. They can win on any track, and Brett's got the experience.
There's Ross Chastain in the 45, giving Hill a push. They're going to close right on the tailgate of Kyle Busch in the 51. What a bold move that was.
All the boys and girls at Nice Motorsports, that's our only goal, to go all the way out west for a Friday night truck race, is to go win it. That'll solve all of our problems.
Ross Chastain took the checkered flag first, but he didn't take the victory. Truck failed post-race tech. Chastain stripped to the win.
That Iowa deal was obviously bad, and just it sparks the fire. Not that I need much spark, but 7 more playoff points. Let's go get them.
I like what Ross said there. Not that he needs much more spark and motivation, it seems like, but we heard him talking about the strength of Brett Moffitt's team. Jeff, do you feel like those two, they're the favorites, not just for the championship, but for the race win tonight?
Oh, absolutely. If you look at the odds makers out in Las Vegas right now.
You put some money down?
Yeah, I did. they are saying so that these 2 guys are pretty much even, but they should be, because you got to realize both these trucks are coming out of the same organization. That's GMS. That's where Chastain gets his trucks, and we've seen how good Brett's been. So I believe these 2 guys are going to battle all night long and probably battle all the way into Homestead.
Yeah, you know, we had Ross on Race Hub this week, and I asked him about what his goal or strategy was going to be for this race. He said, go win, right? That's what Ross does. But the reality of the situation is, yeah, he can go win the race, but his goals are going to change throughout this race. I think the first 2 stages, they need to get a couple points to secure themselves. Once they get those points in them stages, then his goal can change and go win that race.
That's the one thing Phil Gould will be doing. Tell him, got to get stage points now. Get their stage points. And we got to also say real quick, the 24 truck, he has some unapproved changes, so he's going to the rear of the field. The door is wide open now for Ross Chastain to grab some more of those playoff points, and so it'll be a great battle to see kind of how it plays out.
Yeah, because Ross Chastain qualified 2nd for tonight's race. Coming up on Race Day, what about the feuds we have seen all year long? Will they rear their head tonight? And we will talk to a former champion who is in danger of missing the first cut.
You're watching NASCAR Raceday on FS1.
Welcome back to Race Raceday here on FS1. Austin Hill will be without his truck chief tonight after failing inspection multiple times earlier today. And for Austin, there might be more to worry about once he's actually on track.
Austin Hill all the way to the bottom. They bump. Loses end finger. He hangs on, but he's going to plummet back outside the top 10.
You know, I try to put that stuff out of my mind and run our race on every given weekend.
If I have an issue, we'll kind of talk about it a little bit, and if we don't talk about it, then that's fine too. I get to the racetrack, my number one goal is to go out there and win races and do the best I can for my team.
Seems like most distractions are bad distractions, so all the focus we have is getting our 98 horsepower race in F-150 in the victory lane.
Austin Hill had a handful there. Hill repaying the favor.
He just spun us and wrecked us.
He's chasing you. Johnny Sauter not happy. He takes out Austin Hill.
The day or so after something like that happens, it's behind me and I'm going into the next race.
I don't worry about anything. I sleep good at night. I'm in a competitive enough situation that we can go out and beat them week in and week out, so I'm not worried about anybody, honestly.
It will be interesting to see how things shake out with these three drivers. Here's where they qualified for tonight's race. Very close together. You see Austin Hill starting 7th, Grant Enfinger starting 8th. Johnny Sauter will roll off 10th for tonight's race. So we've seen these feuds throughout the course of the season. Haven't seen any real ramifications from them, but do you think tonight is when we may see that, Todd?
I don't think so. This is playoff time. You know, I'm a little old school, okay? I believe
You're old or you're old?
I didn't say I was old. I was old school, okay? You know, go out there and race your race. Just like Grant said, you do your thing, you take care of your equipment. If you go out there with the mindset, I'm going to get even, well, guess what? You take a chance of hurting your truck, getting in a wreck, something happened that could take you out of a good run. So my philosophy was don't leave that for later. Let's do the job now. And besides the fact, the three guys we're talking about, they're playoff drivers. They cannot afford to have a problem tonight.
Yeah, they're not in the playoffs yet, so there's no reason to think I need to be worried about you. I need to be worried about outrunning you, not worrying about wrecking you. And the other thing is, the only thing that could possibly change this, it is extremely hot in Las Vegas at a particular time. At 97 degrees currently, so you know inside those trucks tonight, you may have a little bit of a heat flash too if somebody starts messing with you. So just remember that.
Let's hope it's not in the helmets, though.
I hope it's not in the helmet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've been talking about Johnny Sauter, and let's send it out to Hermie Sadler, who is with Johnny right now.
Okay, Kaitlyn, one of the storylines we'll be following tonight is Johnny Sauter right now 2 points below the cut line. You roll off 10th. A lot of opportunities to get points. So what kind of truck do you think will have tonight as you fight for your playoff life?
Yeah, no, our 10 to 4 F-150 was decent in practice today. I think we were 5th on average, which is something that I kind of study a little bit just to kind of see where you are. Having said that, we qualified better than I thought we were going to, so that's a plus. And, we made some pretty wholesale changes to the truck, talked to our teammates some and all that. So, I feel like you hit the nail on the head when you said we've got multiple opportunities to get points tonight. We just got to be smart. But, sitting where I'm sitting on the outside looking in, I think it puts us in a position to have to be a little bit more aggressive maybe than normal and push and claw and see what we can get out of this thing. So great racetrack for us, and I look forward to tonight's race.
Well, Kaitlyn, that's Johnny Sauter, one of our former champions, trying to keep his playoff hopes alive tonight.
Thank you, Hermie. Yeah, Johnny certainly hoping to move on to round 2 of the playoffs. I heard him saying they're obviously going to race aggressively, but are we surprised to see Johnny Sauter in this position below the cut line?
I'm really surprised. You know, Johnny and Joe Shearer have always been very fast. It didn't matter where they were, but they've been together so long. They were always fast, had speed. They haven't had that speed this year. You know, they get that mid-slumber slump and then get into these playoffs and they pick it up. You see his first round statistics. 9 races in the first round. Average finish is 6.7. That's good. It's not been that good this round. 8.5, that's just not like them. And they have not, since that race at Dover, they have not had a good race. And it's just, these two, they're so good together that they're going to come out of this, and hopefully it'll be tonight for them.
Hopefully. They better wake up, otherwise it's going to be over, because you got to realize, you go back to Iowa, you saw the crash earlier when he got hung up there with Austin Hill, and he went after Hill. They suspended him. That did something to him. For whatever reason, that slump you talk about, it went lower than we've ever seen in his entire career, and they haven't been able to rally back. So they need to do something, and I don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe it's the fact that Johnny realizes my back's against the wall, and I've got to get up on the wheel and go get it. I've got a decent starting position, but I still got to overcome 2 points and worry about somebody, knocking me out of this thing. So we may see the Johnny of old, but he's going to have to prove it to me.
So, moment of truth, do you think he moves on?
I don't think so. I think they struggled.
I think that it's going to be really tough. I agree with Jeff. I don't know if they can get it done tonight.
All right, well, he is a past winner at Vegas, so we will see what he can do tonight. Coming up, we make our predictions for who will find victory lane tonight. Will we finally see someone take down Brett Moffitt? And can Grant Enfinger hold on to his narrow lead over the cut line? We will check in with him.
The playoffs continue next on FS1.
Welcome back to Race Day as we get you set for the first cutoff race of these playoffs. 2 drivers will be eliminated as we head to the round of 6 next. So here's a look at the breakdown for tonight's race. Stage breaks at laps 30 and 60. You see there, too, the 2018 winner, Grant Enfinger. We're going to talk to him in just a bit. So, Jeff, what do you expect to see tonight in terms of this racetrack, the racing, as well as what's on the plate for the crew chiefs?
Number one, you got to look, I mentioned earlier, racetrack is hot. It's got no grip to it. A lot of drivers talking about that. Going through that transition, the crew chief has got to be spot on. He's got to not make any mistakes in all these adjustments. Pit crews, you mentioned this, has got to be flawless. And, oh, by the way, driver, don't get caught speeding down pit road, either coming in or going out. Everybody's got to be perfect tonight if they want to wind up advancing.
Yep.
No mistakes.
No mistakes. The thing I'm interested to watch is the tire fall off. Jeff said it's slick out, but the tire fall off today was a lot. 9 laps, it was almost a second, I heard. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. And a guy like Trip Bruce, Stuart Friesen's crew chief, he's got a lot to do here. Now, Stuart's starting in the back, and they need points. So how is he going to manipulate what they're doing to get him up there, get some stage points, and how's Stuart going to be able to manage those tires in traffic when they're hot and slick? So it's going to be fun to watch.
A lot of different variables for both driver and crew chief. Hermie is standing by with last year's winner and the regular season champion, Grant Enfinger.
Well, Kaitlyn, the guy that's got the spot that everybody wants is Grant Enfinger. +2 right now in the playoff picture. You come back to a racetrack you've won at recently as last year, and your crew chief tells me you've got a good hot rod tonight. So how important is it for you to solidify what you've got going on, maybe in the first couple stages before you get to the end?
I think we definitely have to push it and push it early and often for the most part. So we get to be on offense, which is a race car driver. That's what you want to be. We can go for it all night. I really feel like we have a Thor Sport race in F-150 capable of contending for a win tonight. Didn't qualify as far up front as we'd like to, but I do think we got a shot at it. I want to bring one home for Duke and Rhonda Thorson, Mike Curb, and Curb Records. We also got a lot of people from Champion Power Equipment here tonight, so I want to bring home a win for all those guys.
What's the toughest part about this racetrack?
The bump in turn 2, in my opinion, but this place is also very temperature sensitive. So right now the track has very little grip in it. First thing this morning at 8 o'clock when we started practice, it had a whole lot of grip. So I think just as sensitive as this place is and being able to manage getting through the bump in turn 2 and being good everywhere else.
Kaitlyn, he's our regular season champion. He wants to win this race tonight and be one of the final 4 standing in Homestead.
Oh, yes, Hermie, he certainly does. So past winner, as we mentioned, at Las Vegas. Todd, based on what you've seen out of Grant so far this weekend, you think he can get back-to-back wins there?
If you listen to Grant and what
confidence is high, right?
Jeff Hensley's crew chief, they think they can get it done for sure. And, Grant won this race last year. He knows how to get around his track, and he's always been good on 1.5 miles. So absolutely they can get it done. You heard Grant saying they feels like they got to be a little aggressive. Well, he's one of those playoff drivers that needs the points, so we'll see how he handles it.
But you got people right now, let's don't forget, we got a guy sitting on the pole right now, Christian Exes. He's not got anything in the world trying to win. A lot of KBM trucks, you got Ben Rhodes, you got a lot of spoilers in this field that can make a big difference tonight, take points off the board. So it's going to be a real interesting dogfight from the drop of the green flag.
Yep.
Spoilers could definitely be a factor, which brings me to our race picks for tonight's race. And Todd, we will start with you. Who do you think's victorious?
Well, I picked this kid before he got the pole.
Oh, yes.
I did.
Bragging.
Christian Exes.
This guy bragging.
He's got Rudy Fugle sitting on the bottom. box. He's in the truck that won the race here in the spring.
Okay.
I think the kid gets his first
Making
win
a good
tonight.
case for him.
He's going to
what are you
stay hot
thinking?
3 in a row. Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt.
Wow.
I like it, but he's going, starting
That's
at the
okay.
back.
He'll be there. He'll be in the
I'm
end.
also picking a driver who's kind of hanging out at the back. Stuart Friesen. I think he gets his second victory tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, not the Stuart Friesen curse. That's over. That's done. When we get back, we will take you back to Las Vegas and trackside for the start of tonight's race. Stay with us right here on FS1.